All week, we've been talking about the FBI raid. And yes, it was a raid on former President Trump's estate in Florida. The raid was conveniently timed, of course, because we've been talking about that and not as much about what's going on in Washington and the deceptively named Inflation Reduction Act. Many Republicans say they're mortified over the bill, but in the swamp, folks, everyone tends to find a way to win. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy said this week that raising taxes during a recession was, quote, a special kind of stupid. He's not wrong, of course, but don't be fooled. The high-fiving and devilish cackling over the Democrats' latest spending bonanza isn't just in the Democratic cloakroom. In typical Beltway fashion, everyone is spinning this as a good thing, either publicly or privately. And of course, the real people are left with the bill. Democrats are finally able to tell their base that they did something. The eco-cultists have been shafted thus far, and this latest climate spending package is a huge validation of their power over the party. The lobbyists, who have been having a banner year already, likely are all re-signing at higher retainers after Vice President Harris cast that tie-breaking vote, and it passed the House yesterday. The influence peddlers who couldn't care less about good public policy for America's future, they won big this week. The executive branch agencies are crowing too. Hundreds of billions of more funding that gives wide discretion to the likes of Pete Buttigieg, Jennifer Granholm, and tens of thousands of bureaucrats shepherding the administration's toxic racial equity agenda and the Green New Deal. In terms of raw power, arguably the biggest winner is the IRS, which will double in size to create a kind of financial Gestapo, even though federal tax collections continue to set records. The electric vehicle and renewable energy industries won big as well. You know, real Americans, we want cheap, reliable power and can't afford electric vehicles, even with the incentives meant to create an artificial marketplace for the products. Nothing in this bill will meet their needs, but the companies, they may see a big windfall. China won big too. Any effort to transition our energy grid too quickly to renewables emboldens the communist powerhouse. The CCP also controls 85% of the world's lithium supply, meaning every taxpayer-subsidized EV sold in the United States puts money into the pockets of our greatest strategic adversary. Not exactly saving the planet. And yes, Republicans are happy too, some of them. They're already vowing payback for this at the ballot box. Now the GOP's underperforming Senate candidates can finally talk in real terms about the actual damage done by the Democrat majority on the eve of an election. The television advertising machine will start churning to push back against this, and McConnell and company will get a chance to play offense after being played like a fiddle over the chip manufacturing corporate welfare bill earlier this summer. And let's not be too sure that while they're protesting the bill, a lot of Republicans, landowners, and energy industry bigwigs are secretly cheering too. According to one analysis by Bloomberg City Lab, some $86 billion of the $107 billion in renewables funding will benefit red districts in red states. Americans are smarter than the politicians and the media believe they are. They know raising taxes during a recession to placate political interests puts radical agendas over the livelihood of their families. They know that none of this nonsense will change the climate. They also know that more government spending isn't likely to resolve the inflation crisis caused by government spending. But none of that matters, of course, to the disconnected denizens of Washington, elected and not elected, right and left, who continue to view governance like an old game of Dungeons and Dragons. To them, this is all jockeying and bargaining and spinning. It's not about real people. It's not about real lives or real consequences. It's just one more bill. And those who live in the real world will be stuck with it.
J.P. Morgan's CEO is warning that an economic hurricane is coming. Are you preparing? If you don't do anything, your 401k could be a 201k, and that is not good. So call our trusted friends at Lear Capital. For 25 years, Lear has helped investors own gold to protect against market chaos. It's a good thing. They can help you too. Get your information and up to $15,000 in bonus IRA gold. Just call this number, 800-880-4300. That's 800-880-4300.